So you know those old recipes from your mom or your grandma or your grandpa that you love in your family? We are doing a retro recipe redo today with the Podleski sisters. You're the women to do it. Greta and Janet. Looking particularly stunning today. Please do the full 360.
Ooh.
What? Oh, you did a spin and a turn and a runway walk.
I did more of the rock star turnaround, right?
I love it. You know, people are dressing up more for the holidays because we're getting into that time of year.
Right.
Yeah. And it's nice. And it is a time of year where we do start looking back on old recipes, whether it's baking recipes or those main meals you have for the family. Well, the tuna casserole is one of the ones that we all remember.
Yeah, when we grew up as little kids, like in the late 1980s, you know, we remember this being a really popular recipe, and everybody loves pasta. And there are certainly ways that you can still have pasta and not, you know, blimp out. It's just how you prepare it, and there's all kinds of strategies to do that.
Yes. And retro recipes remind us of the comfort foods that we grew up with. And, you know, the weather's cold now, so we're turning to warmer foods. But as Janet said, it doesn't mean that, you know, you have to gain weight when you're eating them. So we're taking our mom's classic tuna noodle casserole and bringing it into 2013 by healthifying it.
Okay, because tuna noodle casserole is not a healthy dish.
Not traditionally.
Not
usually
really.
very heavy in cream,
Yeah.
white pasta, not a lot of veggies. So we're starting out with veggies. So I'm cooking onions, garlic, and celery. Okay. And then our mom's recipe didn't have herbs, but herbs have a lot of health properties.
They do, and the kind that we like to use are really green herbs that help to pull the heavy metals from your body and help your body to detoxify. So it's nice to know when you're eating something like that, you're helping your body to cleanse too.
So today we're going to be using a little bit of tarragon and some fresh dill because that goes so nicely with fish.
Yes, and
so
I think that's the nice thing about living in Canada right now. We have access to amazing herbs from all around the world, so use them. It is a calorie-free way to add major flavor.
Well, have you written a cookbook or something? Because
I've read a few.
You should.
This is a good one. Looney Spoons. Heard of these ladies? They're cute.
Okay, so I've cranked up the heat. My onions and celery and garlic and tarragon are now nice and cooked. I'm adding concentrated chicken broth. So this is from a can, the low sodium kind, and you're not diluting it because I want that flavor.
Again, you can reduce the salt. Why not when you have all those products out there that are low sodium? Might as well buy them.
This is evaporated 2% milk, which I'm using instead of cream, just to lower the fat content a bit because it's a lot. If this was just a quarter of a cup, I would use cream.
Yeah.
Right? But since it's all this, I'm just using the 2% evaporated milk, and don't say...
Well, I can see it, so it can't be evaporated.
Exactly. Janet loves it. Every time I use evaporated milk.
It's true.
And we're going to thicken it with cornstarch, our sauce. So I'm just going to whisk that together
and thicken it up. So that's interesting. That's a major decrease in fat, just making that change.
The other thing is I've used cornstarch to thicken it instead of flour because we're making this recipe gluten-free. That's another thing that we've done for 2013 because so many people want gluten-free recipes now. And look at this pasta. It just looks like ordinary white pasta, but it isn't.
It's not ordinary white pasta?
No. It's brown rice pasta, and there's so many good gluten-free pastas now. I don't know, Tracy, if you've tried any of the quinoa pastas.
I haven't tried quinoa pasta.
Well, they're great because they have a texture that people think is like regular pasta. They taste delicious, plus they have protein because of the quinoa. So that's what I always use. But here we have brown rice, which has got some fiber as well.
That's very interesting. I've always been a big believer in not giving up your pasta.
No.
I don't think you should have to.
Well,
It's
there's
too
rules
good.
that you can use. Like,
Just
first
don't
of
eat
all,
as much of it.
downsize. People just eat too much. The other thing is accessorize. What do I mean by that? If you have a balance of some protein, like we're putting some fish in here. If you've got some good fat, like olive oil, and if you have some fiber, like the vegetables, those three things help to slow the release of blood sugar and insulin.
Right.
So by accessorizing your naked noodles, you're actually helping your blood sugar situation.
So no big piles of spaghetti with nothing on it, right? It's all the other things that help to control your blood sugar.
So when you have to have pasta, just remember those rules.
There you go.
And I has to have pasta today.
That has to have some pasta.
I grated some lemon zest. I put in about a tablespoon of minced fresh dill. This is smelling so good right now.
Smell that lemon zest.
Of Dijon mustard, and then in goes some freshly grated Parmesan. And I'm using Monterey Jack cheese. And I'm just using the light.
What's your take on cheese? Okay, so cheese for some people, evil.
Some people can't have dairy and their body has issues with dairy. For some people, dairy leads to inflammation in their body. So you have to know whether dairy is okay for you or not.
And
right?
if you want
and
to
it's
use,
very easy to know if dairy is not okay with your body.
you'll know right away. And a
You'll
lot of
figure
people
that
are
out, and
intolerant.
your guests will figure it out quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
The aged cheeses, the strong ones like Parmesan, are better for people that are lactose intolerant. So that's good to know.
Okay, wild salmon.
Oh, so much better. Okay, so what would your mom's tuna casserole have?
It had tuna, and we are going to keep with the tuna. So we're adding the water-packed tuna, low sodium. If you look at regular canned tuna and salmon at the sodium content, you'll be horrified. You have to buy the low sodium content.
Yeah, and this is brain food. These types of fish have a...
I wonder I'm so smart, Tracy. I eat it all the time.
The most
She's
omega-3s,
brilliant.
yes. And you know, your brain is 60% fat, so you need these kind of fats. If somebody calls you a fathead, you should take it as a compliment. Seriously.
I did not know the brain was 60% fat.
True.
Okay,
That's interesting.
So that is
Good
going to
fat, healthy
thicken
fat.
up. A little bit of freshly ground pepper and a pinch of sea salt.
Yum.
And
So
then
really most of the work is in this sauce that you're creating, because this is what you need to thicken up. So the pasta's easy. I don't
pasta
know what
you
the
can have
cooking time
cooking.
is for brown rice pasta. Is it any
It's
longer?
no 8-10 minutes at the most. It really depends on the thickness of the noodle. Penny noodles tend to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
In the last 2 minutes of cooking, I added 1 cup of green peas. Green peas add more protein, more fiber. They make it better looking.
More
right? Because
color.
you eat with your eyes first.
They're so good for you.
The old-fashioned tuna noodle casserole tended to be very bland, but it's still one of
And
my
Tracy,
favorite.
I know this sounds crazy, but these are the bones from the canned salmon. Let's throw those in there. You know why? Because
Really?
you're getting more calcium, and the bones are soft enough to eat. So
They're
eat
really,
the bones.
you can just squish them like nothing, and they add a lot of calcium.
Okay.
So I love this because it's stovetop, there's no baking. So all of this pasta is going into my thickened sauce, and then once you stir it, you're ready to eat. There's no putting it in a casserole dish and baking it in the oven. and-
Tracy, what was your favorite comfort food, retro food?
Beef patties.
Beef patties.
Oh, but here's how we eat them, which is really terrible. We eat them with something called cocoa bread. So it's like a bread sandwich.
Oh, that
It's a
sounds good.
sandwich. It's like it's a bread, like 2 big pieces of bread with a patty in between. It is
Wow.
heaven. There's nothing better. You can't even redo that. I don't know how you would
You know
redo
what?
that.
That's not. Some
Put
things you
vegetable
shouldn't.
in a patty or
Some
something?
things are better left alone. And
I
I don't, you
think
know what?
so.
I don't even like the word retro because it sounds like the Brady Bunch. I think we should call these vintage recipes because that's more Mad Men.
Yes,
Yes,
that is.
right?
This is
Yes.
vintage.
It's our vintage tuna noodle casserole, everyone.
Yeah, pass me a
Give
martini.
it a try.
Okay, we're putting this on our website at cityline.ca. Thank you, sisters.
Thank
Let's
you.
put a
Good in
break. More
here.
coming up. It's Family Day.